Good morning. Can you guess what this is? By the headlight and a bit of the grille and everything like that. I'm going to show you what it is and you'll be surprised. So yeah, if you hadn't guessed it already, it's a Haval Jolion. Now this model was first introduced in 2021. There was 2 or 3 different models, H2 and H9 or something, H6 and I can't remember. There was other models out previous to this, but 2021 the Jolion came out, and of course it's made by GWM, Great Wall Motors in China. Hey! But I'll tell you, I was quite surprised with this. My daughter bought this because her Holden got rear-ended, and she seems to think it's a good car. It does her well. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give it an oil change because it's due a service. So I'll get the oil change done, but I'll check the other filters on it as well. And if it needs air filter and that, I'll go and get it through the week and put that on. But the main thing's to get the oil done now before it gets any more K's on it. So we'll get on with that and we'll have a wee look at the rest of the car as well, for anybody that's interested in Haval. So I'll do a quick walk around the car first. The front, well, the front looks like, it's a bit dark in here, looks like most cars these days with a big massive open mouth grille on the front. LED lights, quite a good design. I think these are like driving lights, and these are your main headlights with indicators on them. Comes with a lovely set of, is that 19-inch? 17-inch alloys on it, quite nice. You got your indicators built into the mirrors. It just looks like any other SUV really. Yeah, has a decent sized boot in it, which is kind of full with the baby's buggy, but at least now you know you can get one of these in. I think this was like one of the top range models at the time when she bought it. It's got all the leather interior and door trims, and the dash is quite nice. You know, it's decent sized dashboard in there. And then you got your big screen here, which shows you all your heaters and radio and, you know, your wee radio. It's quite sleek. Big dashboard here in the middle. Handy for resting your arm on. Your drive as well, it's, you know, just a turn one, reverse neutral drive. Yeah, and I've been getting the books out just to have a look at the manual on the car itself. Let's have a wee look under the bonnet. Now, that's quite easy to get. Let's go and have a wee look. So under the bonnet, the usual wee catch here, and oh, she's a heavy bonnet, and she doesn't have struts. It's the old, Jesus, she has a fair weight of a bonnet. She's solid. See, I've got all these bits of branches out of here. These bloody things go down your waterways and block the water draining from your window. This is the worst of living in Australia, bloody gum trees. You get leaves everywhere. I'll just go and put this in the bin. So under here it's quite easy to see what's what. You've got your dipstick down here. Oh. Now, this is a 1.5 litre engine. Samantha's just came up and dropped the car off here, so the oil should be nice and hot for changing. And it's certainly full anyway. Oil's starting to go a wee bit brown, so your air box is in here. You've got a screw here, 2, 3, and 2 here. You have to take a panel, but I'll show you that shortly. That'll be your coolant in here. Looks to be a bit like it could do with a coolant change, but yeah, I'll get into that later. And this cover just pops off, and that shows you the tops of your engine. So looking inside the engine here, there you've got your coil packs with your plugs under there. I'll need to have a wee look at them, see what the plugs are like, but they should be okay. I think that's your ECU under there. I think, not 100% sure. I think that's what it is. Just put that back on. Yep, your coolant. This is your windscreen washers. I'll just go through it all. Your air box. So to get into your air box, you have to take this pipe out, because you got 1, 2, 3 screws and 2 just hidden by this bit pipe, but it just lifts off. So that's under the bonnet. I'll need to have a wee look under it and see where the sump plug is for changing the oil. And just before we go, there's a lot of room to work in here, I must admit. You know, I wouldn't be scared to do a bit of work on this engine. Plenty of room. And there's your oil cap as well for putting your oil in. So I'll have a wee check under and see where the oil plug and the oil filter is. So going underneath the car, I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's an oil filter. It's not easy seen. There's a hole up here with the oil filter, and there's a hole up here with the sump plug. Now the sump plug is at this side of the engine, so if I jack up this side of the engine so that I can get under it, then it's going to help the oil run out down to that end and out the sump plug. So I'll jack it up under here somewhere. I won't need to remove any covers because it's simple enough, but I'll have a look. I'll have a look at the rest of the car while I'm under there. First thing I need to do is heat her up a wee bit more. So let's go in and have a wee look how this works. Now, this is I think it's a push start, foot on the brake, and that's it started. There you go. No warning lights apart from handbrakes on. Service your car, so it's due a service. That's a wee screen for the baby seat in the back. There's your stereo and everything. Yeah, that's different. There's all sorts of different things. You can go into settings on here and back to settings. Comfort curve. Yeah, I'm just, and as I said before, it's in P for park. I don't know if that shows up with it being LED, and then you've got to turn it one left for reverse, back to neutral, one right for drive. Anyway, I'm just going to let this heat up for another minute or so, and then I'll get the oil drained out of this and we'll get some fresh stuff put in, which shouldn't take too long. Geez, I wonder what that is. And there's another funny thing on there. A sensor, which is driver monitor system. I think that monitors whether you're still awake and that your eyes are still on the road, and if you're not, it gives you a warning. Quite a clever thing. Do we need all that? I don't know. Most Western cars have got all these sort of things, so I think the Chinese are just trying to keep one step ahead. And at the moment, by the looks of this, they're doing alright, like. They're doing fine. Now, I don't know if you can hear. I'm probably more used to diesels now, but that is one quiet engine. One very quiet engine. I'm really surprised. So according to information I can get on the net, it says that the Haval Jolion 2001 model, that's when it was first built. It's been selling the H2 and H9 before that, but this is the first generation Jolion. In 2021 it was introduced in Australia, equipped with a 1.5 litre turbocharged engine, 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. So it's a compact SUV. The engine's 110 kilowatts of power, which isn't bad. 7-speed dual clutch transmission, front wheel drive, front wheel drive drivetrain. The first generation Jolion wheelbase 2,700mm overall, 4,472mm long, 1,841mm wide. So that's really about all the information I can find on it. There is a lot more information there if you want to go through the internet. I'll tell you all about the car, but you know, realistically, why wouldn't you? Quite impressed with it. Now I know there is some talk about other cars, especially that, is it BYD, Build Your Dreams? They've been having a lot of problems, their cars rusting out and things like that, and that's been quite major. The Haval, I know they had their problems because I knew somebody that worked on them when they first came out in Australia. But this new version, the Jolion from 2021, it's a different type of car altogether. Like I say, listen to that, it's so quiet. I'll take it for a wee test run after as well, but we'll get this oil changed first, I think. So we're looking under the car now, and up here is your oil filter. Very easy to get at, and your sump. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain that sump out and change the oil filter. It does look like there's been something spilt here, like oil or something, but that's maybe been at an oil change when somebody spilt it and it's run down the engine. It's not new, this is old. So yeah, you can't expect anything to be too bad because it's only a 2021, so everything should be good. Let's get on with this anyway. So let's get this started. There we go. And we'll just let that drain away for a minute. Now that seems to be dribbling nicely. Turn this a bit to get this oil filter out. Hopefully I can turn it. Just let that drain a wee bit, I think, for the filter. There we go. So, as you'll see, this oil filter's a Pyongyang GLX 404. Oh dear. Don't know if this is have I got the right filter or no. I'll need to just double check. We'll go and check my book and see what it says. Oh. So yes, I was correct. The Z411 does fit the Haval Jolion 2021 model. So this will be its first Ryco filter, because the one that was fitted before was obviously from the dealership, and it would have been the the proper Chinese oil filter, which it was, which you just saw. So we'll get this Ryco 411 on it. Tight as you can, by hand. My grip's not as good as it used to be, but I think I got it. Now, as I was saying earlier about all this oil and stuff around here, as you can see it's dripping off of there while we're changing oil. So when the garage has been doing the services on it, it's been dripping off of here. But did they clean it? Did the hell, it's like typical. Anyway, I think we're about drained with our engine oil. Now it does tell you to use a new plug, but the old one with the washer on it looks just fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So we'll give this a clean, put the plug in and give it a wee crank up. There we go. Now we'll get this barrel out of here and I'll get this mess cleaned up here. I'll use some brake cleaner and I'll give it all a good clean. So that's the oil drained, filter changed. So this takes, according to the information on this car, it takes 3.8 litres. So this is a 2 litre can. I'll put in the first two. So yeah, like I say, it's a 3.8 litre. I'll put in exactly 4. And I know that way I've got enough in. And I'm not overfilling it by much, it's just by a small degree. There's first 2 litres. And now another 2. There we go. And just in case you're wondering, I'm not sponsored or anything like that, but this is what Penrite recommends you put in. GF.S 5W30. It's complete protection, fuel saving, and it meets the API SP resource blah 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 blah. So you can buy it in a 5 litre tin. It takes 4 litres, so you've got a litre left to play with. Whether for topping up later, although you shouldn't really have to top them up. This is done right up to its service point and it's not had to be topped, so that's good. But it's always having some handy in case you do need to top it up. Right, we'll put this on, we'll move these out the way and we'll give it a wee start and a run. I was also going to say, good thing about the Penrite is you get this sticker to stick on the inside of your dash and you can put down when your next service is due. Quite handy. Good thinking by Penrite. So where have I put these pink? Ah, there they are. The pink keys, well actually it's more purple than pink. Girdly colours. And oil light out. So as you'll have heard when that started, you heard a slight wee rattle. That's because there was no oil in the pump. So that was it. It just takes, it's not even a second for the oil to get around the system. You see a lot of people that they fill up the oil filter and they put it in to try and eliminate that you know, part of a second dryness before the oil circulates. honest to God, that's not going to do your car any good, that wee rattle. It's not going to do your car any harm, I should say. Filling your oil filter to put it on, I mean, that's up to people if they want to do it. I'm not saying it's wrong to do it, I'm not saying it's right to do it. If you want to do it, you can do it. But I've never had a problem doing it this way. And listen to that, she sounds fine. So, now I've given that a wee run, I'll switch her off. And we'll get her checked. I was just looking at the wee sticker there. It's been done at its previous garage, so it was due at 50,000. This is 50,000, so spot on. And the last time, it's got a Castrol sticker on it, so they must have used Castrol oil. But I was going to say, I've never seen an oil that makes your hands go brown, like, you know, touching that waste oil. My hands just went brown and it was hard to get off. But that was Castrol oil that was in it, so the oil in it must have been pretty good. I've put Penrite in. Penrite's a brilliant oil. It's made in Australia, and just about everybody uses it, yeah. Right, we'll switch this off and then we'll go and have a wee look. Yeah. And we'll see what it's like on the dipper sticker. So here we are. I've let the engine sit for a minute, so we'll dry this dipstick off and we'll check her. If you put in the right amount, you know, you know that it's going to be fine, and that is absolutely perfect. That is right on the top mark. You couldn't want any more perfect than that. I'll just get another second or so to sit and then I'll check it again, but that's perfect. So what I need to do now, have a look at the air filter, give it a clean out. If it needs replaced, I'll order one. Cabin filter's the same. I want to have a look at that fluid in the radiator, because it looks, looking in the bowl, it looks brown and murky. It might be just the kind that it is, I don't know, but it might be needing a flush, you know, just flush the whole thing out, put some fresh coolant in. But I'll have a look at it and see it, see what it's like. Right, I'll just give this another check. And that's perfect, spot on. So I'm going to do this air filter, I'll bring you in a bit closer. So doing the air filter is pretty easy. You've got one screw down one side. They'll screw out. You'll hear it when it unscrews itself, but the screws won't pull out the cover. They'll actually stay in the cover, which is good. So two this side, one this side, and you've got two at the other side, but you can't get them until you pull this air cover off. So you can push that down with a screwdriver. That'll come out like that, and that leaves you these two screws to get. I was a wee bit worried coming into this, because I didn't know exactly what would be involved in servicing a Chinese car, but seems to be fairly easy and straightforward. And there's the air filter, that's clean side, the dirty side's at the bottom, but we'll see what it's like. Well, I wouldn't say it was dirty. There's a lot of dust in there I'm going to blow it. I'll get my airline fixed up. There's dust on this, but that's just dust. I'll go and get my airline hooked up. Whew. Yeah, that's clean enough. We'll just put that back in. And we'll screw it back on. And we just put that back on here. And ta-da! And when you blow it that way, you can actually feel the air coming through, so it's not restricted, so we'll just reuse this one again. Putting in is just the reversal. Slide the air filter in. Now the air comes down for the top, down, and you can see the arrow for the airflow, so that's the right way. And then we just put that cover back on and it clips in. And it's easier done with two hands, which I will do. Maybe if I had the thing the right way around, it might go in better. Do that on that side, and there, done. And then we'll put the glove box up, and that's all that done. Yeah. Ah, well, that's that done. So I took a plug out to check it. They're iridium plugs, and there's a wee bit weird, but they're not that bad. They'll do another 10,000k for when this is due its next service. The coolant, it can be a green or a red, but I'm going to change it the next service. And I'll put a new air filter and a new, what's the other one? Cabin filter. I'll get one that's pollen free for Samantha because she doesn't like the pollen. That's a wee clean up. Done. Now that's the engine and everything else done. The only thing I've got to check is the brakes, so let's see what they're like. Can't see them very well, but I can put my finger in here and I can feel the pad. Yeah, they're down quite a bit. I'll check the other one. Yeah, I'll probably be due them on the next service, I think. I don't think it's too bad just now. Can't really see very well, but I can feel them, and I think there's a fair wee bit we are left on them to do the next service. But ones, they're probably about the same. I reckon next service we'll gear new brakes in the front, pads in the front, pads in the back. Discs are okay, there's a wee bit of lip in the disc, but next to nothing. So yeah, so brake pads on the next service. So I can get all of these ordered, or no ordered, but I'll mark down what I need, the types, and I can keep a note of that, and then when it's due the next service I'll just click on the button and order them and have them delivered to the house, and that's fine. And just before I finish I'll top up that for the window washers, and I think that'll be done. So yeah, that's it. We have all service. They're actually not a bad wee car. I just need to get a wee take round the block. So into the Haval, or just a wee quick run round the block. Not that I've done anything that would neutral, reverse, no, forward. Quite impressive, eh, with the reversing camera and everything. We'll go a wee run round the block just to see how she feels. Oh, very nice. Indicators on the left, which really confuses me because my Jeep's the other way about, I think. And the gear stick's funny, eh? Look, you go into neutral, into reverse, and then the reversing camera comes on, which is quite good. Very good reversing camera, more or less. Alright, you more or less reverse it just using the camera, you know that. It's really easy to use, though my driving's not as good as it used to be. Yeah, and there's motorbike on the ramp. We'll just stop about here, that's enough. And then with that you just push it to go into park, like that, and that's it in park. Handbrake on, and that's her done. Runs absolutely lovely. Press the button to stop it. There we go. Yeah, so she's quite an impressive wee car. I'd have no hesitation in running about one of these. Anyway, that's it for the day. We'll see what we can dig up for the next one. See you later. Bye.